what they were doing. Maybe that's I'm insulting the people from Eindhoven right now.
Probably,
but in my opinion, the products that came out of Eindhoven were more like. At first view, it's like, oh, that's a nice product, looks nice, it's in joke. But if you really think about it, I thought about, well, you can never make that, or you can never, you would never sell that, or you would never. It's not ergonomical. So people in Delft really think about more aspects of products than just the way it looks.
Let's start by saying that TU Delft is a university, and the Design Academy is an art school. So they're totally different. You can't even say they are the same. They make art. And maybe they look like products, but they make art. And we make products. So that's my understanding of the difference between the two.
Okay. I think you have a strong opinion on this. At least I heard you muttering about certain of the things being said.
Yeah, it's quite dangerous to make a division between Eindhoven and Delft. I would say it's probably both people in Eindhoven and Delft are probably as wise as both places together. I don't believe in things like in Delft they think different than in Eindhoven.
Well, I'm really convinced they do, actually. But I'm talking about the Design Academy in Eindhoven now.
It sounds like bullshit to me. I don't know why,
but he has. Well, he says it from experience.
I'd like to take a different answer, but related to the question about why is civil engineering different than what they do here in design engineering or industrial design engineering. I come from a college where we don't give degrees in civil engineering or mechanical engineering or industrial or aeronautical. We give a degree in engineering because, in fact, we don't think there is such a thing as a problem that is only civil engineering or only aeronautical or only. Engineering is a mindset. It's a way of approaching the world. And it's a question of different emphases, different flavors, but it's a problem-solving mentality of how you look at the world, use the forces of nature or the attributes of nature to solve problems for people.
Is that what's an engineer for you?
Well, we have a very interesting story in this country.
Okay.
There's a guy coming from The Hague who is an engineer who gets fed up every morning with his morning biscuit. Bolletje, we all know the story from Bolletje, don't we? Yeah? It's a morning biscuit that we eat in the morning. He couldn't get out the stuff from the roll in the morning, so he thought, I have to make myself useful in this society. So he invented a very small hole on the outside of the morning biscuit, and he had the bolletje invention. That is not a technique, it's just a way of thinking, and that's truly the same as what
but do you
Clive
have to be an engineer to think of something like that?
Do you have to be, well, anything to think of that? No.
But what I find interesting is what you said. You said certain things that I think were crucial to what you think is an engineer. The problem-solving mentality and some more things. What do you think are characteristics of an engineer? Because we were talking about what they do at a designing academy and what they do here. And the difference is that here, this is a university where they create engineers. What is for you the crucial aspect of being an engineer?
The crucial aspect of being an engineer is to recognize that you are a human being trying to solve problems that you and other people feel are real, where you have to make use of various aspects of nature that are, for many of which we have mathematical models that explain how materials behave, how when we do things to materials, certain phenomena or situations result, and we know how to manipulate those.
It's probably the same as Hasso just said in the beginning. While making the choice for this study, I feel very okay about my choice. That's close to the same thing that you say. Finding a so-called, internal okay. I feel okay for doing this study. It's about techniques, about mathematics, okay. But if you don't feel okay while doing this study, you shouldn't be studying here. So it's about yourself.
Become an engineer.
It's about your internal okay.
And part of something that you said earlier, Hasso, really bothers me. Not about you, but maybe about the industrial engineering faculty, is if the first year student here feels that they have to follow a certain set of procedures and there is a single way to solve every problem, then they're doing something wrong here. In spite of the fact that this looks like a wonderful building and environment. I told my wife when we came in, I wish I had brought my camera because I'd like to take pictures of this before I go back home, because I've never been in this building. But if the attitude conveyed to students here is that there's only one way to solve the problem. Here's the set of equations, the formulas, the processes. This is what it means to be an engineer, but only this. If that's what they're doing, that's wrong, I think.
That's not what the faculty says. The teachers...
But they create that impression, though.
Yeah.
Yes, they leave the impression that if you solve this way, it's good. You'll get a high grade. Students start to think, I have to follow his rules to get a high grade, and that's the only way. But later on you'll find out that's not the only way. You can listen to every teacher with a different opinion. So the faculty won't say there's one solution, but students start to think because they'll get to know one teacher with one opinion, with one view. So that's not... I think first year students are just not experienced enough about, or experienced enough with creating or solving your solution.
Did you find in your studies what you wanted to find in it? Was it what you expected?
Yes and no. Yes, I did find the subjects that interested me. No, I didn't find the real industrial designer that I thought I wanted to become. My view of an industrial designer changed, and I always thought industrial designer, he is always good with drawing his product or making his presentation, but it changes to, it has changed to a person that is able to solve any problem with a product or with a problem people have in their daily lives.
What do you think about that change?
It's a good change because now I open my eyes to a world where you can solve much more things, and I think that's the best thing that happened to me. So.
Okay, so it changed you from the idea that you only would become an industrial design engineer to someone who could solve many different problems. It is this problem solving that you learn here, the problem solving.
Yes, that's what you learn here, but you also learn there are many things besides that, and most people that graduate will not start as a designer or an engineer, but
as a student.
Sorry?
Well, as a student. Start off as a student.
No, when they finish here, they're still students afterwards. And well, I'm just curious.
But that's the biggest problem in this country, perhaps in other countries as well, but I do know this country quite well. The biggest problem is that you go to school A, B, C, and D, you will always be a student. As soon as you step into this society, you're an ex-student, but still a student.
Yes.
And my personal frustration with Dutch school systems, not only high school but also university, is that a lot of university buildings deliver good people. They deliver good students, but they don't deliver people that fit in a good society, or they don't deliver people that fit 100% in the society. because they don't give the information how society is. While doing a study, for instance, in Delft or Eindhoven or Twente or Groningen, wherever, you can escape from society.
That's
And
something I'd
it
like
should be a task. It should be a task for university, any university, any HBO, to give information on that as well.
It's something I would really like to have the opinion of the audience about. I mean, do you agree? Is it?
It's probably too much.
Well, no.
Hello, I'm Boudewijn, and I think that Jan Douwe is absolutely right. Engineering is not about knowing only how to calculate or how to design, but also to be a strong person, have character, know what you want to do in this world, have an opinion about what is right, to make a sound, to be a personality. All these things need to be incorporated in the university program as well. And I think that is lacked often.
Okay.
I have to disagree a little. I think Jan Douwe and I agree about engineering is...
Maybe one of the students can tell what his view is after his study. What are you going to do when you're finished? Do you have an idea about that?
Not really. I do know what my field of interest is in industrial design, but I'm not sure what I want to do after graduating.
Okay, Jan Douwe, what do you think about that? Because he's got no view about what he's going to do. That's okay?
It's very good. Very good. I like that very much. It's hard to say, well, it's impossible to say what you will do tomorrow, even while having a study over here. Yeah, there's one thing I do know. I'm a father myself. I will bring my 2 girls tomorrow to their school. I'll try to make money to raise them. But I'm probably sort of a squeezed product of a very strange thing, which is radio, television, journalism, etc., etc. I like his way of thinking because he really doesn't know what to do tomorrow or next year, whatever. That's very good for him.
If he doesn't know what to do, how can he achieve something?
It's not an interesting question.
No, but it's not.
May I
I mean, if you have a job, if you have a job and you have a lot of experience, maybe it's fine to have this attitude. I don't know what I'm going to do.
My opinion,
tomorrow.
but it's my personal opinion, is a job is. Was Herman Brood? I don't know if you know the word Brood. You do know Herman Brood? He used to be a big rocker in this country. He died of an OD. But he said, while doing rock music, I can escape from growing up. And a lot of journalists, a lot of rock musicians think the same way. While doing this job, I can hide from the rest of the society. The thing I don't want yet, or whatever. And study is a very nice way, a direction like here in Delft or any place where is a very nice cocoon, it's a very nice biosphere to stay in for a number of years and just live the life that you want to live and see what comes next. Probably being an engineer.
But on the one hand, you say this study should prepare you more for society, and the other hand, you say it's wonderful to keep on living in a cocoon and do other things while the rest of the world is happening. Is that not contradictory?
Yes.
Well,
Excuse me.
They're facts. If I tell you that about 60 or 70% of the people who went to school to an HBO study or a technical study will not do the job that the study prepares them for. So they will change jobs in the medium or longer term. Only 30%, 35% of the people in this country that do a study will end up in the direction that they first choose for. And the rest, they will find it, and I think that's okay. That's okay. It's about our society. It's probably close, it's more close to reality than you think.
Well, how many Herman Broods are there?
Now, well, I'm not talking about Herman Brood, but I wanted to... there are so many people who don't know what they will do tomorrow, and there's probably a majority that don't know what they will do tomorrow.
But what's so good about
tomorrow
that?
after their study.
What is so good about that?
Then it's not boring.
Well, that's really refreshing.